Okay. So polynomial regression. So polynomial regression is used when your linear regression model cannot use any relationship between the target variable and the predicted variable. So in that condition, what we have to use? In that condition, we have to use the new concept that is called the polynomial regression. And the polynomial regression say that the polynomial regression is a special case of linear regression where we fit a polynomial equation on the data with a linear relationship between the target variable and the independent variable. So polynomial regression is a form of linear regression. It is not any different type. It is a form of, or it is, you can be said that it is a subset of a linear regression in which the relationship between the independent variable x and the dependent variable y is modeled as an nth degree polynomial. Okay, so we have to use some new concept that is called the degree polynomial. Okay. So this is a relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable with an nth degree polynomial. So we will see what is that nth degree polynomial. The polynomial regression fits a nonlinear relationship between the value x and the corresponding conditional mean of y, that is denoted by e of y x. Okay. So here we can say that these are the polynomial regression. This is a polynomial regression. This is a perfect diagram or a perfect graph of polynomial regression. So you can see that here we have not used the linear regression. If we use the linear regression, so what happens? There is a straight line from the 0 to onward. Okay, so that 0 to onward line, we cannot get any relationship between the x-axis and x value and the y value. Okay, so what we can do in that condition? So in that condition, you have to implement the polynomial regression. So once you implement the polynomial regression, you will get such type of graph. So this graph, now you can see that using this graph, maximum value will get covered through this graph. Right? Another important topic we are start today, that is the decision tree. Okay. So what is a decision tree? In a decision analysis, a decision tree can be used to visually and explicitly represent the decision and the decision. So there is some condition. In the condition, you have to take some decision. Okay, and for example, let us this is the example of cricket. So to start the match, there is always most important decision has to be taken by the captain, that who will play first after winning a toss. Okay, so once there is a toss between the two captains, so they have to the captain has to take the proper decision, because the whole match is depend on the decision taken by that particular captain. Okay, so if he elected first for the batting, and if the batsman not played well, okay, so that the blame will come to the shoulder of the captain, that he take a wrong decision because the pitch was not good in early morning, in the morning, so he has to take a batting at the second. Okay, so such type of critical decision you have to take, but how you have to take that decision? On which basis you have to take that decision? For taking that decision, okay, so you require some previous historical data. So on the basis of that historical data, on the basis of that previous data, you can take a proper decision. And how we can take that decision? So there is a concept in machine learning. You can say that this is called the decision tree. And using that decision tree, you can take a proper decision. Okay. So the decision tree can be constructed by the algorithmic approach that can be split the data set in a different way based on the different conditions. The decision tree are the most powerful algorithm that falls under the category of supervised machine learning. So keep in mind that the decision tree and the regression are the example of, or they are come under the category for the supervised machine learning algorithm. The two main entities of the tree are decision node, where the data is placed, and the leaves, where we got the outcome. So whenever you are framing a decision tree, okay, whenever you are make a decision tree, so you will find the two parameters in the decision tree. The first or two main entities you can find in a decision tree. The first is called the node, okay, where you have to take the decision. So whenever there is some node, you have to take a decision, and where the data is split, and there is another entity that is called the leaf. So where we got the outcome. This is nothing but your outcome or your decision, right? Final decision. So the example of binary tree for predicting the whether a person is a fit or unfit for providing the various information like eating habit, exercise habit is given below. So let us consider here I am taking the one example, and I want to take a decision that if the person is fit or not fit. Okay. So how we can decide that the particular person is fit for cricket or not, or he is fit for any work or not. So for that we have to take his all information. Okay. So what information we are collecting here? We are collecting the information, for example, eating habit, okay, his eating habit, his exercise habit, and all these things. So on the basis of that, what I am doing, I am trying to follow one decision here. Excellent. Then the another example I would like to take here. Right? Let us consider waiting outside the house to get an autograph. Okay. So this is very famous. You can see that this is a bungalow of this person. And now, which day he come out to enjoy the sport. Okay. So there is some condition. Right? So if these conditions are satisfied, then and then this person will come outside his bungalow. Then and then we can see that person. Okay. So on which parameter we can say that the Shah Rukh Khan will come out of his home. So if the sky is good, so obviously he will come. Then if the humidity is good, then he will come. If the temperature is good, then he will come. Then the wind condition is normal, then he will come. So there is no water, okay, so he will come. And the forecasting is good, then he will come. Okay, so on all the attributes, you can see that on which day he will come out for the enjoy the sport. So to do this decision, okay, so we find out this decision, what we have to do, we have to first take all these conditions. So if these conditions are satisfied, get satisfied, you can say that the Shah Rukh Khan will become outside his home. Okay. Before we start the decision tree, there is some task we have to perform, that is called the learning task. So we want to make a hypothesis about the date on which the SRK come out. In the form of Boolean function on the attribute of the date, we have to find out some hypothesis or some observation from the historical data. So we are continuously collecting the data of Shah Rukh Khan, every activity from the last 10 years. So on the basis of that, we can take a decision on which particular day he is very much feel comfortable to enjoy the sport. Okay. So based on that data, let us consider decision data. Okay. Training example. Okay. And let us consider this is our current. We have the data set, and in that data set we have this information. So what is the sky? Sky may be a sunny. Sky may be a rainy season or rainy. Then temperature may be a warm or cold. The humidity may be a normal or high. The wind condition may be a strong or normal. Then the water may be a warm or cool. Then forecast is the same or change, right? And enjoy the sport. So this is the data we are collecting from the last 10 years by regularly observing the Shah Rukh Khan's activities, daily activities. Okay. So on the basis of that, what we have to find out, we have to making the one function that is called the target concept. Okay, and when this condition is true, for example, sky is sunny, temperature is warm, then the humidity is normal, wind condition is strong, water is warm, and the forecast is same, so we call it the 1. Then again, the sunny sky condition is sunny, the temperature is warm, the humidity is high, even though humidity is high, but the wind is strong, the water is warm, okay, and the forecast is same. So in that condition also he is very much enjoy the sport. And the last one, the sky is sunny, then the temperature is warm, the humidity is high, wind condition is strong, water is cool, and the forecast is changed, even though it may get changed, but even though he is enjoy. So we call it as a 1 because we want to take a decision. So how we can take the decision? So obviously the decision has been taken as a yes or no. Okay, so either it is yes, either it is no, or you can say that it is a 0 or it is a 1. So that's why I'm converting all these values of my data set into the binary value, that is called the 0 and 1. Okay, so in that condition, he is not very much enjoy the sport if the sky is sunny, but the temperature is very cold, the humidity is very high, the wind is strong, the water is warm, and the forecast is changed. So in that case, he is not very much comfortable to enjoy the sport. So this is one of the data set, and from the data set we have to find out, can it possible to predict when the Shah Rukh Khan will come out of his Bangalore to enjoy the sport. Okay, so on this data set you have to take a decision. So here we have to find out the negative and positive learning example. Okay, so derive the Boolean function from the training example, that is called the hypothesis, right? And other is called the non-Boolean. Generate the hypothesis of our concept from the training example. How we can take the decision? Can the child can play the tennis or not? So these are some attributes we already said. So you can see that by implementing this decision, we can take an final decision. If the sky is sunny, overcast is west, and the rain season, you can divide this parameter like this. Okay, so sunny. So if there is a sunny condition, but even though the humidity is high, so it is not ready to come for the sport. But let us consider the humidity is normal. Obviously, he is ready to play the cricket, okay, or play the sport. Then let us consider the weather condition is rainy, but check out the wind condition. So if the wind is strong, so he is not come for sport because it is not possible to play the sport if the wind is very strong. But let us consider the wind is weak, so he is very much comfortable to play the tennis. Okay, so such kind of decision you have to take, and that is called the decision tree. And to take the decision, to frame the decision tree, we have to take the data. Okay, and that data must be in the binary format. So this is all about the decision tree, okay, and the polynomial regression. I hope you enjoy today's session.